When I was at a real estate event a couple of weeks ago, someone asked me, in I presume a positive way, maybe it was backhand. They said, "Leigh, why do you smile so big?" And I said, "Well, that's just how I smile." What kind of question is that? And why do people feel the need to ask things that could be taken in a negative way? I mean, honestly, y'all, the reason I grin so big is I am generally a pretty positive person. In fact, my man Winston Churchill once said that he was an optimist because it did not seem to be much use to be anything else. And if I know anything, because I test it on the regular public all the time, if you will just grin at people in a real big way, they can't help but respond positively and grin back. And to me, that's much more fun than the ill, aggravated, grumpy way people walk around the world right now. Because, y'all, I can't even cut the news on now. It's just so nasty and negative. Because the way that you respond physically is the way people respond to you. And it reminds me, because I'm in the middle of a transaction right now where it's a domino. So we've got 4 families up in the air because it was supposed to close yesterday and has not yet closed because the lender didn't get the package there on time. And lenders, if you don't like us talking smack about you, then get your packages there on time. And by the way, y'all, that's why TRID is going to be a very wonderful thing, because all these deadbeat lenders that cannot get their act together are going to maybe finally go away, or they'll finally get their act together. I'll be fine either way. So anyway, one glitch happens and everybody's thrown up into the air, and it is frustrating, confusing, exhausting. Everybody's schedule is in a turmoil. We got kids who are trying to get to school, people trying to get to work, got a tenant whose lease is up. I mean, you're just talking a lot of headaches all over the place. Well, one of the parties involved was ranting and raving about how this is a nightmare and it's just awful, and why are you real estate people so positive? And I said, you know what? I said, this is a first world problem. This is not a nightmare. It's an inconvenience and a pain in the tail and frustrating and absolutely all of those things, but we still have a place to lay our heads at night. We still have the money to buy and sell real estate and food to keep our bellies full and vehicles to drive, y'all. We're in a really good place. So let's just keep this in perspective, work as hard as we can to get the glitches fixed and get moved ahead with life. And it just reminds me that the way you say things and the words that you use, y'all, are critically important, whether you're in real estate or just walking down the street in life. So put a big grin on your face and realize that way you've got it is probably pretty darn good. And my grandma said one time, if you had everybody in a room write down all their problems and throw it in the middle of the room in a big pile, once you saw everybody else's stuff, you'd reach back in there and grab your own stuff back out. So just remember that. Be kind to each other. Put a smile on, and remember, this is all really good stuff.